Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the WARRIO Report here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thank you for joining us today. We'll start out talking volleyball with head coach Joe Getz. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Before we get into this weekend, which was a very eventful weekend, I wanted to pick one more thing from your resume to talk about a little bit and find out more about you. Embry-Riddle Aeronautic University. This is a very interesting thing to me because you started a program from scratch at this university. How do you go about creating basically a sport at a university?
Well, I had relocated due to my wife's job up to Prescott, Arizona, and Prescott had a couple small colleges, and one was Embry-Riddle, and it had about 1,500 students at the time. It was pretty small, and they were looking to grow. I got a job in admissions. I was running a volleyball club up there, and the admissions director was always on us to get more women involved and so forth. And I said, well, I have a simple answer to that. I'll just start a volleyball team, and made a proposal saying that if they would give me 6 scholarships, I would fund 15 girls and have 15 girls come to school there, so the program would pay for itself somewhat. At the time, Embry-Riddle only had men's wrestling, and it was the maintenance director's dream that he wanted to be a wrestling coach, so he had started that, and well, there was plenty of guys. So we started a program, and actually in a short amount of time we were very successful within the NAIA. We drove to California quite a bit and had a great experience with that. That was a lot of fun.
So how do you pitch the idea to recruits that they're starting a brand new program?
One, it was more about school, and kids want to play. There's always more volleyball players than there are, scholarships per se. And so really just kind of pitched the school. And the school was such a specialized school, aeronautics, and when you talk about that, to this day, those kids make a whole lot more money than I do. And all of them graduated with a really good degree, a lot of it, and they got into the aerospace industry. And was at a time when that was really growing. I didn't have any pilots. I did have a couple aerospace engineers, but there was a need for it and an interest, and I could sell them on that. And lo and behold, it worked.
And now you end up in Winona, where we used to make space shuttle parts.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, let's talk a little bit about then this weekend. Friday, you actually started your season, and you started very early in the morning. 9 a.m. is when you started your first match. Tell us how that went, how the whole day went, and how it was to start the day at 9 a.m. and then end with a 7 p.m. match.
Well, in these tournaments, you play a lot of different times. In fact, this weekend we open up at 8 a.m., so I'm not sure how we're going to eat breakfast. I don't think anything will be open, but an early start. The other team has the same schedule, so it really is no advantage one way or the other. We were a little bit, nervous is how I would say is coming out of the gate. We didn't look real comfortable. I think we warmed up to that a little bit, and it wasn't until the 5th set that we really started playing what we consider warrior volleyball and how we practice every day, and then we really trounced on the team. I think we won 15-6, and then that evening we had to come back and play a very solid a team that's receiving top 25 votes at the time, Illinois Springfield, and we kind of played hot and cold. One match we'd be really on, and the next match they would, and so forth. And it got to that 5th set, and once again it was like a light bulb went on for us, and they turned on the switch, and we were up 8-0, 10-1, and kind of just cruised into a nice 15-10 victory. But it was good to see us be able to show what we're capable of and what we do every day in the practice gym.
And even though you were up 8-0, 10-1, it was kind of a fight in that 5th set to come away with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, we let them come back a little bit, but there was never really a question.
You had it in the bag.
Yeah.
What did you do in the time between then, from 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. or whenever you were finished with the first one until you had to start?
There was a little bit of downtime. I think the girls took a nap probably. Coaches stayed back and did a little bit of scouting so that we knew what we were up against. But that time goes pretty quick. By the time you're done with a match and you stretch and then you ice, you get back to the hotel, they shower and so forth, and then a pregame meal about 3 hours beforehand, and then you're back in the gym warming up and so forth. So it does fly by.
All right, so successful first day, even though you were missing one of your players in Corey Myers, right?
Yeah, Corey suffered an ab strain coming into the week, and we felt it was just best that we can put that to rest and just really get it healed so she isn't dealing with something lingering all season. So it was really just kind of a decision to sit her this weekend. And the good news is we have so much depth, and I think that showed this weekend as we went on that a starter from last year could be not playing, and yet we're playing at a really high level.
So how was the feeling then the second day? You said nerves on the first day, you come up with 2 wins. How were you feeling the second day?
Well, I think we started off really strong. We handled the University of Charleston 25-10, I think it was, and they were probably not the strongest team, so I made a decision that my platoon, basically the whole starting lineup, sat out. Other than the middles, we only had really the 2 middles, and gave our subs a lot of opportunity. And they had a little bit of first game jitters, which is understandable. We just really don't have those experiences. So they ended up winning the 2 sets. They were close ones, but I think they got some really good experience out of it, and that's what I'm looking for all the time. And we ended up winning in 3. Kind of a short turnaround on that one, and we came back and played Springfield again, and I think it was an advantage for us because we were able to rest some starters and we had some pretty good legs underneath us. And really Springfield didn't have, they had played an earlier match before us, and we took it to them. It was really fun to see just a steady level of play, a high level of play, and really was no question that we were going to win.
I want to go back to the Charleston match because, as I said, this is kind of an education for me. So I look at the stats, and this looks like an eye-popping stat. You limited Charleston to a .011 hitting percentage, which seems very low, and I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
So tell us about that and how pleased you were to limit them to that.
Well, I think a lot of that had to do with some of their errors. Anytime that you're making mistakes, your hitting percentages go down quite a bit. So it was really neat to see the girls, no matter who was out on the floor, forced them into a lot of errors. I think we played really disciplined defense, made them make some errors as they just got frustrated. So it was good.
All right, and then coming up, you're going to be right at it again this weekend with 4 more matches. Tell us a little bit about what's coming up this weekend.
Well, we head to Parkside in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and that's kind of a neat place because a lot of our recruits are from the Wisconsin side, and be a little bit closer at home for those parents to come watch us. We opened up with a really good McKendree team, and then I think we have Parkside next in the afternoon. So good quality ball. I think it will be a little bit more of a test for us. No real easy matches, and it will give us an opportunity to hopefully play a few more people, get some more reps in for them as well.
All right, sounds good. We're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report. When we come back, Megan Flom will join us right after this.
If your home is like mine, everything begins and ends on the internet. In fact, the average home now uses 7 wireless devices each day. Make sure you have the bandwidth for homework, live chats, and streaming with fast, reliable internet from broadband.
Power all your devices with HBC high-speed internet and get up to 1,000 megabits per second. Lightning-fast internet that fits all your family's needs. So call or visit hbci.com today.
Dad, why did you kill all those people?
My name is Malcolm Whitley. I hunt down killers like my father. You have a copycat.
I'm flattered and deeply concerned.
Save it.
There's so much I can teach you about murder. Maybe we can solve a few together.
In the house of the rising sun.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. Megan Flom now joins us. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you're kind of an area product from Kenyon-Wanamingo High School. Yeah. What was your decision to come here to Winona State?
I've always liked the area of Winona State, and being recruited for volleyball kind of caught my eye. And I had other schools in mind too, but being only an hour and a half away from home, it's nice because my parents can come down, go home, and my sister played volleyball and basketball at St. Mary's here in Winona, so that was also a big factor.
Oh, absolutely, sure. Tell us a little bit about your high school career at Kenyon-Wanamingo. I know you made state your senior year, which was good and bad because you ended up with 3rd place, but still it had to be great to play in the state tournament.
Yeah, of course. We my senior year, I think we were ranked first basically the whole year. And then we got to the state semifinals and lost a game, which is okay. But then we got to end the season with a win, third place, so it was fun.
And then kind of because of that, because of the great season that you had, you were able to play in the All-Star game, is that correct?
Yep, in St. Cloud.
Yeah, what kind of experience was that like?
That was fun because there was a lot of high caliber players that were playing in those games too, and like Kate Mossberg, my teammate, we played together, so it was fun to like get to know her and play other players that are like on teams in that SIC now too.
And had you known at that time that Kate was coming to another
Yeah,
state?
I did. Me and Kate actually played on like a club team our senior year together that we put together. So.
And then in that All-Star game, you were able to play on the same team, right?
Yep.
Yeah, very good.
Did you win?
No, we didn't.
Oh, sorry.
We didn't.
So talk about the recruiting process, and what did you see in Megan that wanted you to bring her to Winona State?
Well, I think Megan, with her size, obviously, in volleyball, the game is played at a certain height, and the taller you are, the easier that becomes a little bit. But one thing that I noticed about Megan was she had a complete game. And as it's coming true right now, she could play any of the front row positions, whether that's a middle, an outside, a right side. She had that skill set coming in. So it's something that's really valuable and gives us a lot of options with her then.
All right, well, Coach Getson had talked about you playing several different positions here at Winona State. How do you kind of adapt to playing on different areas of the floor?
Yeah, well, in club, back in like high school, my club coach made me play right side a couple times. And that like helped me a lot when last year Kate got hurt and coach made me play right side. And now this year, outside's not much different than right side kind of, so just wherever I need to be, I'll play.
All right, I'd like to hear that. I'm sure your coach likes to hear that as well. Tell us a little bit about starting the season here. Coach said maybe a little bit of nerves in the first couple matches.
Yeah, so we have like a couple weeks of just practice, and this year we didn't really get to scrimmage anyone during the preseason. So I think we were just like anxious, jittery, nervous to get out there and see like how we stack up against other teams. And after the first couple sets, I think we figured it out and got into our rhythm.
All right, and personally, you played very well this first weekend. Tell us a little bit about that and how you felt in your first matches of the year.
I would say I was pretty, not nervous, but anxious again to start out, especially playing a different position. So just like getting in the rhythm of things again and just doing what I can do best for the team.
Now, this first couple of weekends seems to be a little loaded with 4 matches each. That doesn't really happen the rest of the season. How do you kind of prepare yourself to be able to play that much within a short span?
Well, we've been talking to, like, we have long, hard practices in our gym. They're very competitive practices. So, like we were talking about when we went to 5 sets with some teams this weekend, it really helped that we had that in us, that we had long practices and we were conditioned enough.
Okay, Coach was talking about the purple and white scrimmage that she had before the season started, and that it was pretty heated.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? And how did that go?
Yeah, we were pretty competitive with each other, which is fun. And in our gym, like, we won't let balls drop. Like in practice, a lot of balls like you hit, you'll get dug, but in a game, like, they won't get dunked. So it's nice to, in practice, have like that high caliber too.
All right, so your team is now 4-0 for the first time since 2016, I believe. So how do you keep that going this weekend?
I think just keeping the mindset, like last year we were pretty like unsuccessful and we weren't okay with it. So this year we have the mindset that we're not going to lose and just like keeping that and keeping steady with like our play.
All right, well, I appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us here today, and good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for joining us on Warrior Report. When we come back, we'll talk women's cross country. That's right after this.
Brand new kids, brand new challenges.
You know what that means?
A brand new season of Kids Baking Championship.
Most fun cake I've ever made.
Wow, am I excited to bite into this.
Topping your giant donut with regular donuts.
Yeah.
Those decorating skills are going to come out. Fun, right? Wow.
Wow!
Who will beat the competition to become
Kids Baking Champion?
All new Kids Baking Championship, Monday night at 9 on Food Network.
The U.S. men's national team goes for glory at the 2019 Gold Cup. Rising stars.
What can this kid do?
Battle-tested veterans. United in victory.
The United States Concacaf Gold Cup champions!
A new era in American soccer starts now. The 2019 Concacaf Gold Cup. June 15th through July 7th on FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We're now joined by Zach Kuhn, who's the cross-country coach and also track coach over at Winona State. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you're in your second year at Winona State, and just looking over your resume and doing a search on you to find out where you've been before Winona State, you've had quite a long history of things. You're at Montana State as a runner, correct?
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about your college career and how things went for you at Montana State.
Sure. Yeah, I'm originally from Michigan, so going out to Montana was kind of a big step, but beautiful place, altitude, great place to train, and great coaching staff there. And I mean, I don't think you ever have the 4 or 5 year career that you envision, but I definitely enjoyed my time there, learned lots. Fortunately, I knew I kind of always wanted to coach, so I went in there really just trying to get an athletic career that would set me up for a good coaching career. And I wouldn't trade my time there for anything. Had its ups and downs, its roller coasters. Definitely made me a better coach, I think. But yeah, so I ran cross country and track there, really focused on the mile towards the end, and ran on the distance medley relay. But cross country's kind of always got the sweet spot. I think most distance runners like the team atmosphere there, and just kind of not running circles around a track, but seeing some good stuff. So.
All right. Any highlights, any things that kind of stick out to you when you think back on your career at Montana State?
Yeah, just the team and the people there. I mean, just the bond you have with the cross country team, and I don't think there's just a certain connection you have when you're running hundreds upon thousands of miles with somebody, even if you're not speaking during that time. It's just a bond you form, and so those are just the memories I'll never forget. I mean, probably the highlight athletically was winning the distance medley relay at our conference meet. That was in a year where NAU had won the Division I NCAA championship in cross country, so just a few months later to beat them in the distance medley relay was kind of huge. And so that's probably the athletic highlight for me. But really seeing just a lot of success for my teammates and just the memories and bonds that you have over that is the stuff that sticks with me.
Now, you mentioned that even in your choice of college, you were thinking already ahead to a career in coaching cross country. When did you first decide that, hey, maybe I want to coach this and pursue this as a career?
I would say sometime around my sophomore year of high school. And maybe it was even earlier, but I guess that's the time where I realized, okay, I'm going to be a good enough athlete to compete in college, therefore I think it's realistic to make that a career goal. I think it went from, well, maybe I'll just be a physical education teacher, that way I can coach, to maybe, okay, I think I can make a full-time career out of just coaching at the collegiate level. My high school coach was really instrumental in just shaping me as who I am as a person, also an athlete, and then for sure a coach. So having someone like that in my life was like, okay, this is what I want to do, is have that impact on people. So.
All right, and one kind of interesting thing that I found, you had a bet with a friend to see who could run 200 miles in a week. How did that come about, and how was that to try to complete that in a week?
That's right, yeah. I guess if you do a Google search on me, that's the first thing. It's funny, when I was being interviewed for this job, that was actually the first thing that came up, so I guess I can't hide from that. But no, it was an interesting thing, to say the least. I mean, I run a lot of miles, but 200 is kind of not a normal territory, so it was really just a stunt, publicity stunt. I guess it's made its way here, so it works. That's right. Yeah, I really don't say I learned a ton, other than really just how to keep going no matter what. I'm not sure it's that applicable to anything, but yeah, just basically running 3 times a day, every day, pretty fast.
Would you ever do it again? Would you ever try for more?
I probably would, yeah. We've talked about it, but I mean, surprisingly, we didn't have too many negative repercussions from it. So I guess if it works for a publicity stunt, we might have to do it again.
All right. How did you find your way here to Winona State? How did you find out about this area? You said you're from Michigan, so Midwest type of area, but how did you find out about Winona State?
I was doing a grad assistantship in South Dakota, and so I was already kind of somewhere I wasn't used to being. And I guess the opportunity came to look for another job, and this was really a position where I felt like it was a reach for me, but something I was confident and comfortable doing. And to be honest, I didn't know much about Winona or the school or anything. I just kind of reached out, applied, got the interview, and I would say I was pleasantly surprised when I showed up here and just saw the beautiful area that we have and so many great things that we offer here. So.
Now, cross country obviously doesn't get a whole lot of media, so what was the state of the program when you came here last year?
It was really not too bad. I would say the job I had in South Dakota, I was starting with a lot less. The previous coach had a full-time job on campus doing something else, and he ultimately decided, that he could no longer provide at least what the athletes deserve. And so I think that's what's been nice for me to come in, is really just give them the time and energy that I have, and I'm able to share with them. And I think that we're being able to do some things. Particularly on the men's side, they were not as together, I would say, and I think those just kind of promoting that culture of really being a distance runner, year-round as part of your lifestyle has been huge. The women's side has had success in recent years, and in a lot of ways last year was kind of a rebuilding year for us, and so it's not until this year where we feel like we're at the level where we can compete on the national level like the program was about 5 years ago.
So this is only a small part of what you do and even what the athletes do, because a lot of the cross-country runners have run track, indoor and outdoor, but it's a very short season. You've already run one meet, and I think you have 3 left after that. Tell us a little bit about how you adapt to such a short season before the NSIC championships.
Sure, yeah. I mean, considering our regular season, if you will, is, like you said, just 4 meets. But the thing that makes our sport unique is that we really don't have to do well at anything until those championship meets, and we don't have to qualify for either the conference or the regional meet. There's no regular season like what's your record like there is in ball sports. So ultimately we have a lot longer time in cross country to prepare than we do for track season. So we really just take advantage of the summer to train, and then especially these first 2 months of the actual racing season are still in preparation for those meets. So we just try and do a few different things strategy-wise in these first couple meets, especially on the women's side. We're not necessarily running our full squad at each meet, and then we're ultimately, just like I said, preparing for those championship meets. And so we could be last at these and still win the national championship. We could also win all of these and not even make the national championship. So
We've got about a minute left in this segment. What was your reaction to the first meet of the season? It was successful, unsuccessful? How would you rate it?
It was kind of a mixed bag. There's something like if everyone runs well, then obviously things are going right. If everyone runs poorly, then obviously that's on me. When there's a mixed bag, it's kind of just trying to really break down and see, not that we're trying to find whose fault it is, but just how to improve. I think we're definitely on the right track. We just have to just kind of make some changes mentally and really believe in ourselves. And that's one thing that, the training is there already, and we can continue to build that in the next couple months, but the bulk of our fitness has already been developed. We really just have to learn how to race and compete and believe in ourselves. And so I think that the Augie Twilight meet was a learning meet for us for sure, but for a lot of our athletes, it was definitely a confidence builder too.
All right, we're going to take a break here on Warrior Report. When we come back, we'll be joined by Nikki Staffen. It's right after this.
Our soccer is our sound. From the rooftops to the alleyways. Our stadium. Our stomping ground. Bigger. Louder. Like nothing else. Our soccer. MLS is on FS1.
No matter how you connect, HBC delivers fast, reliable internet and secure GigaHome Wi-Fi throughout your home for intense gaming, easy sharing, and buffer-free streaming on every device all at once. With local experts ready to help. Connect to faster internet. Connect to GigaHome Wi-Fi. Connect to now. Call or click hbci.com to upgrade your internet today.
Brand new kids, brand new challenges.
You know what that means?
A brand new season of Kids Baking Championship.
Most fun cake I've ever made.
Wow, am I excited to bite into this.
Topping your giant donut with regular donuts.
Yeah.
Those decorating skills are going to come out. Fun, right? Wow.
Wow.
Who will beat the competition to become
Kids Baking Champion?
All new Kids Baking Championship, Monday night at 9 on Food Network.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report. Nikki Staffen now joins us. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
You're a senior here at Winona State, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you run cross-country and indoor and outdoor track. Can you tell us a little bit about the difference between all of those different events and kind of how you have to adapt to run all those different things?
Well, I guess they do kind of all run together, but it's more within track. Obviously, it's more like sprint and like speed training, I would say. And then through cross country, I've increased mileage, so you definitely have to do more endurance-based kind of running. And I've increased my mileage to 70 for cross country, so it's a little bit different. But I would also say, at least for me, I think track is a little bit more. It is more individualized because you are kind of out there on your own, like in your individual race, and then cross country definitely feels like more of a team environment, which I really like. So I definitely think I like cross country better over track, but I love them both at the same time. But I just, when you're out there in the crowd, like out there running in cross country, you're all trying to work together and trying to run it as a pack because you're trying to ultimately reach what our end goal is of going to nationals. So we need a big team effort from everybody to achieve that.
All right, so how do you work together in cross country?
Just by packing up and trying to encourage one another, especially in practice. We definitely have to try and build each other up and pack up in practice and really encourage each other through that. So.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your days in Wisconsin in high school. Did anything stand out in your high school career?
I guess I would have to say more. I'm a big team-oriented person, so that's why what kind of actually led me to come to Winona was because my team in high school was really close, just like with everybody on track, like even the sprinters and just the whole entire team was really close, and that's what drew me actually to Winona was the major team environment. So I definitely would say that because that's where the most memories were created was when my team in high school, we went to state as a team. That was probably one of the most memorable things, and I'll never forget it. So I would definitely say the team atmosphere is what stood out.
Okay, and how did you finish at state?
I honestly don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember?
I don't. As a team, I don't think we did like super good because it was Division I, and we had a lot of really good teams in Wisconsin, so in Division I. So I honestly don't remember how I placed, but.
Okay, kind of an area for both of you here. Zach, when you came in, did you have to kind of rely on some of the upperclassmen to kind of figure out, okay, what is the culture here? What are some of the things that I need to know about this program?
Yeah, the upperclassmen on any team are going to be a huge aspect of how that culture develops. But I would say the biggest thing that they contributed was really just being the star athletes that you need. I mean, thankfully we had them when we came in, but you just need someone that's being successful so that people will buy in and believe. And Nikki was someone that was successful right away under my training, and it really helps younger people to come in and say, okay, if we buy in, we could be a Nikki staff in one day or be their own version of themselves that they want to be. So.
And how do you adapt to having a different coach come in about midway through your career?
Well, first I'm going to be like honest. It was like a skeptical kind of thing. It was different. It was something that was totally different. But especially as like the summer went on, Zach's training I think has worked like really, really well. And I really have appreciated everything he's done for me to help me grow as a runner. I can already tell that from just one summer, like I feel like this season's going to be really good. And I know a lot of other girls would agree with me. He really encourages people to do the little things, and that was something that I think a lot of us would kind of skimp on sometimes, and those are the most important things. So I think he's really helping us build to be better runners, and I think just from, because when I was injured my freshman year, just coming from that way, I think I've definitely came a really long way from when he came here, especially building up my mileage and giving me confidence to know that I actually can do it, because I was a little nervous about it before, but he really gave me a lot of confidence that I could do it. So I really do appreciate it, and having a new coach it's been great. So I'm excited to see what the season will bring.
All right, last question here. Then coming up with your next meet, what are some of the things that you have to do to improve on what you saw in Augie for this next meet coming up?
Yeah, we still do have some building to do. We have some like packing up to do, I think, and we still have to work on some speed training and everything. And I think as long as we all just keep doing like the little things and keeping on top of any injuries that do arise, I really think that those are just the big things that are going to add up to leading us to our end goal, which is making it to nationals. And we have a really young team. We have a lot of talent, and that showed at Augie already. And I think we started off in a good position, and I know that there's a lot of room to grow. And I'm really excited to see how it's going to turn out, because I think it'll be great. I really do.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here today, and good luck the rest of your season.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right. And thank you for watching Warrior Report. We'll see you next time here on HBC TV 25.